Of all the films I've seen in my time on this earth, Manos, The Hands of Fate holds the distinction of being one of the worst theatrically released films I've ever seen. Created on a bet by a fertilizer salesman named Harold P. Warren, the bet being that it was easy to make a horror movie, Manos is about as bad as you would expect from someone who doesn't know how to make movies. The film is about a man named Mike and his wife and daughter who stay the night at a lodge run by a creepy caretaker named Torgo. The lodge is actually a front for a demonic cult controlled by a man named the Master, who plans to take Mike's wife and daughter into his harem. It's a simple premise that shouldn't take more than 30 minutes of screen time, but Manos is so ineptly constructed that it ends up being way longer than it should be. Every filmmaking mistake is made here. It's a realm of bad occupied by movies like The Beast of Yucca Flats, but even that has some artistry to it when directly compared to Manos.
Darling.
The editor of this movie must have been asleep or something.
There is no place like that around here.
So many shots here feel like they haven't been trimmed properly, and some are completely superfluous and last an eternity.
Mike,
Most infamously, the first 15 minutes of the film are dedicated to a driving montage because they moved the credits to the end and they just forgot to shorten this section. The film was ADR'd by, at most, 3 people, meaning multiple scenes have characters talking to each other in the same voice.
All right, mister. I see you have a taillight problem. No excuse. Running late, first vacation, kid getting tired. That's too bad.
Even the little girl is clearly voiced by an older woman.
I'm getting cold, Mother, and hungry.
The film's nighttime scenes are virtually incomprehensible at points. Shots being out of focus is a frequent problem. There's also this couple who never seems to stop making out and drinking beer. There's just a lot of shit going on here.
Why don't you guys leave us alone?
None of the fluff was cut out. Manos is a film that proudly displays all of its faults.
Holy art thou, holy art thou, holy art thou.
There is also a video game adaptation. Also, don't worry, I'm not turning into another game review channel. There are plenty more people qualified for that, but hey, I play video games too. I watch bad movies. Might as well cover something that intersects my interests in this unique way. Developed by Freak Zone Games, the same studio behind the Angry Video Game Nerd games, Manos is actually something of a spiritual predecessor to those titles. Like them, it's also a 2D platformer in the style of a retro video game. You play as Mike, the frumpy dad from the movie, battling through 8 stages with a story very loosely based on the film. He not only has to contend with Torgo, who is a rival encounter throughout the game, but a whole slew of obstacles not only based on elements from the film, but other B-movie, rather I should say, Z-movie monsters. This game was made with a very specific person in mind. Me. I'm that person. If you've religiously watched Mystery Science Theater 3000, or just have any interest in terrible movies, this game is full of fun references. The snakes you see throughout the game are just any old snake, but they're contextualized by one of the first things you see in the game, a sign reading,
Watch out for snakes.
The moths seen in the nighttime stage are in reference to the moths that kept interrupting the filming of the movie's nighttime scenes. Even that weird head statue is a stage boss. What initially feels like a misplaced reference to Zelda 2's floating bubbles is eventually revealed to fit into the theming of the stage's boss, the Roman from Robot Monster. Hell, several enemies throughout the game are based on monsters from other horrible movies, including the Crawling Hand, the Screaming Skull, the Killer Shrews, the goblins from Troll 2. Hell, even the Giant Claw appears as a stage boss. Twice. Not the last time this developer would do that either. Even the music is based on what I can only describe as evil lounge music in the original film, and they make a pretty good translation to chiptune tracks here. Have a listen. As a way of circumventing the rather dark ending of the film, collecting all the Hands of Fate not only increases your health, but also unlocks a new ending, which is a nice touch. The game feels alright to control. Mike has a slightly odd jump where he elegantly floats into the air at the start, but then comes crashing down like a sack of bricks. It takes a bit to get used to, but it's alright I guess. Whenever you get hit, you suffer from a bit of knockback, which is normal for the games this is referencing, but I thought it wasn't really doing its intended job for the most part. It kinda pushes you up a bit, which is unintentionally helpful. Especially when you collect all the Hands of Fate. You got plenty of health to finish the game without much issue. Even the 1-ups reappear when you die and get sent back to a checkpoint. You get an upgrade to the pistol Mike wields, a shotgun that fires in bursts. It's pretty great for screen coverage, but you lose it when you get hit. It's a basic risk-reward mechanic, nothing crazy. It works, it's fine. You can finish the game with just the pistol too. And that's probably the weakest element of this game. The gameplay. It's alright, but it's not terribly challenging. I guess they didn't want the die-hard Mystery Science Theater fan playing this to be too preoccupied with the fear of being unable to finish the game, so they made it super forgiving. As a person who plays video games to unwind and relax, I appreciate that. They're an especially good distraction when trying to find something to do when I'm not making videos, even if they obliterate my upload schedule, but anyways, I think a lot of NES games are way too difficult to really unwind with, personally. That said, I do look for challenge, and the lack of challenge and short length here makes it more of a novelty than something I can really recommend to everyone. It's got a bunch of references I thought were funny to spot, and to the average person that just means there's a variety of unique and weird enemies here, so it works on both fronts. And hey, I said the premise of the movie only worked for a 30-minute feature, and the game happens to almost be 30 minutes, so yeah, good job. There's even an extra mode you unlock after finishing the game that lets you play as Torgo. How cool is that? As far as I'm concerned, this is the canon version of the story. You can get it pretty cheap on Steam. As of this recording, it's $1.99. And for the length of the game and the love and care that went into the referential elements, yeah, I'd say it's worth a look. It's a decent video game. It's not the most challenging or engaging, but it's fun for the price you can get it at. Also, it's just fucking wild that this even exists. A game based on this movie of all things? For real now. It's an endearing distraction, and definitely a more worthwhile experience than the movie. But to truly appreciate it, you have to watch the movie first, unfortunately. So yeah, I made this video to tell you this game exists. And now you know. I am not a very good video game reviewer. Anyways, here is a shout out to my highest tier patrons. Ryan Santa Cruz, Avak Robot, Dante Infante, Ziggy Zigra, It's Godzi, Bigodilo, An Actual Dimetrodon, CMG, Red Comet Harry, and Marpzilla. Thank you very much. This shot is still going.